Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today there are still 3 Senate races remaining that have not yet been called according to the New York Times. Some news organizations have called them, some have not. The New York Times has not yet called them. So today there's 3 Senate races. I'm looking at the Senate race in Arizona and giving you an update on where things stand right now. In this open race to replace incumbent Senator Kyrsten Sinema, who is not running for re-election, Ruben Gallego, the Democratic candidate, has led now since Tuesday night. However, the lead has gotten much, much smaller, and that Ruben Gallego now has 49.5%, Republican Kari Lake has 48.4%. So this is a race, since the last time I did my video yesterday, has gotten much closer and is starting to get very, very tight. So 82% of the vote in, where do things stand? Well, as I mentioned, the most important county in Arizona, no offense to everyone else who lives in counties besides this one, is Maricopa County. Maricopa County is the largest amount of people in Arizona, and I believe this is where the most amount of votes are still outstanding by amount of votes. There is 82% in, so there's only 18% of votes left remaining in Maricopa County, but it is the highest population of voters. For instance, Pima County, this is 76% in. There is still more percentage left. There's 24% left, but there's less raw votes than there will be in Maricopa County, meaning that 18% will be more votes than the 24% of Pima. So goes for Cochise and Graham and Gila and Yavapai and Mojave. All these will have a few more votes come in, but given the pure amount of people living in Maricopa County, the votes most important will be coming out of here. And this is what's taking so long, is there are still, I believe, as long as the ballots are postmarked by Election Day, they can be received in Arizona. I want to make sure I get this right, because I believe the New York Times does discuss this on the presidential map. I want to get this right. I don't want to get this wrong here. Yes, officials in Maricopa County said full tabulation of all the votes could take up to 10 to 13 days. If that is true, if it does take 13 days, well, Saturday, November 9th, we'd be what? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we'd just be on day 5 of 13. So if that is true, and that's how long it takes, there's no guarantee we'll have an answer in today or the next few days. But again, that's all ifs and buts. Right now, we're just looking at the votes that are left out. In Maricopa County, 82% in, so 18% of the vote to go. Gallego currently has a lead over Lake of 51-47, a 4-point lead. Now, I'll make this very, very clear right now. If this lead of 4% were to hold, Ruben Gallego would defeat Kari Lake in the state of Arizona. Kari Lake cannot afford to lose Maricopa County by 4% and win this election. But what is very important is this 4-point lead for Gallego in Maricopa County has actually gotten much, much closer. Because, as I showed you the day before, I believe it looked like Gallego had about a 6-point lead in Maricopa County. So the vote drops we have gotten in Maricopa County has actually made this a closer race. So the latest vote drop in Maricopa County was actually very favorable for Kari Lake, and that's the question. Because by trailing by 4%, now with each vote drop, if it does continue to get more and more Republican, that may give Kari Lake a chance to potentially win the Senate race. I'm not sure it's a huge chance, but it is a chance nonetheless. Right now, the margin statewide is 1.1%. Is there enough votes out there for Kari Lake to make up that margin if everything goes her way and win the state? The simple answer is yes, but we're not going to know that until all the votes are counted. Looking at the presidential race in Arizona, Donald Trump currently has a lead of 53-46, a 7-point lead in Arizona. Maricopa County is actually flipped on this. Donald Trump is winning 52% to Kamala Harris's 47%. So Trump is beating Harris here by 5 points, 52%. And the Senate race, Kari Lake has 47%. So that's a 5-point difference in Maricopa County, the largest county in the state. Simply put, Kari Lake cannot lose Maricopa County by 5 points and hope to win the state. She just can't. If all the votes are added up in Maricopa County, and let's say hypothetically Trump wins it by 5 and Kari Lake loses it by 2, is that enough for Kari Lake to win? Maybe. Because that 2% gained, getting her up to like 49-48%, and Ruben Gallego down to 49-48%, where it's only a difference of 1 to 2 percentage points, may be enough for Kari Lake to just squeak by and win this election by less than, say, 10,000, 15,000 votes. But that's all contingent on the remaining votes in Maricopa County. we're not going to know until the votes are reported if they are a margin that's friendly for Lake or Gallego. We're going to have to obviously wait for all the votes to come in before we can make that assessment. But there is more than enough votes for Lake to come back and win this election. Coincidentally, of course, Gallego has the lead right now. There's more than enough votes, again, for him to hold on to this lead and win. So it's really depending what the votes are going to end up being. And something I am very fascinated about, something I've not touched on too much yet, is if hypothetically Kari Lake does come back and win this election by less than 1% of the vote, which if Lake does win, it would be by under 1% in all likelihood, did Ruben Gallego lose because of the Green Party candidate, which the Green Party typically skews voters away from the Democrats, getting 2.1% of the vote, 58,000 votes, when it's more likely than not, whether Lake or Gallego wins, the margin's going to be under that 58,000 votes. We know in all likelihood that Green Party candidate's not taking many votes away from Kari Lake, but is this candidate potentially taking enough votes away from Gallego where it could become a problem? Right now in Maricopa County, that Green Party candidate's getting about 33,000 votes. And the margin right now in Maricopa County is a little under 60,000 votes, margin between Gallego and Lake, and that's expected to shrink as more votes come in. So this is a very, very fascinating situation happening in Arizona and in Maricopa County, and all eyes are on Maricopa. Yes, there are some votes remaining in Pima County as well. There should be a few more votes here, 24%, probably a few tens of thousands of votes that will likely be going more for Gallego than Lake, but again, we're going to have to wait and see how that goes. Yuma County's got 45% more votes in, but it's not as large as the other two counties. Those will be a few thousands of votes more and likely will benefit Lake. La Paz County is pretty much all in, maybe a few hundreds of votes more for Lake, but not that many. Mojave, same thing, a few hundreds to thousands of votes left, but not that much, only 9% remaining. Cocosino's 95% over, that's pretty much in. Yavapai County's got a few more thousands votes left at 73% in. That should be a boost for Kari Lake. Not enough for her to take the lead, but enough to maybe shrink the margin a little bit by 1,000 votes or so. Navajo, over 95, pretty much in. Apache, 78%, a few hundreds more votes left, likely for Gallego coming from there. Gila County, over 95%, that's pretty much in. Pinal County, 95 in. Graham County, 95 in. Greenlee, 95 in. Cochise County, I believe there was an issue with an election machine counting the votes. There was an issue there. So there should be a few more thousands of votes coming in here. Over 53% left. Expected these should boost Kari Lake's numbers. This should boost her totals. Right now the margin is about 6,000 votes difference. So if that does continue, that will give an extra 6,000 votes to Lake, which would bring the deficit for her right now down to a little above or a little under 50,000 votes, like 45,000 vote deficit. So there's enough votes to come out as well. But right now it's all about Pima County a little bit, but also it's all about Maricopa County. Pima will have a few votes, and it is enough population where the city of Tucson is that will get a decent number, like a few tens of thousands of votes. But most of the votes are coming from Maricopa County, and this is where all eyes need to be watched for right now. So that's the latest update in the Arizona Senate race. As anything changes, I will, of course, be doing another video to give you those updates. And whenever this race is finally called, you bet I'll have a video ready for you explaining what happened and how the votes ended up going. In the meantime, that'll do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like, click subscribe, share with your friends and family, and I hope to see you in a future video. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like. And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button and make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really like the video. And remember to stay tuned because I'll be posting at least one video every single day leading up until Election Day. So I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.